Hello, KFC SuperCoaches, Pre-Lockout podcast, round 25, the final Pre-Lockout podcast of the year. And Rob Sutherland, you're looking pretty pumped to tick this one off.
I'm limping to the absolute end of this season. I'm laughing because you started the podcast speaking like, oh, no. I'm like, slow it down, Thomas. We've got no questions. It's going to be a 6-minute podcast.
Send your questions through, guys. There's currently none sitting there right now. I know it's a little bit of a letdown after head-to-head finals last week, but 50k is on the line this weekend, and the bloke who's winning is more than 200 points ahead. His name's Matthew. Vacant Block is the team name, so he looks... look, I don't want to jinx it, but
he's immortal. He's home. He's got the cash. Matthew, budget for it. You're spending it. It's done.
No, he needs something really unlucky to happen for him to lose it. So good luck to everyone who is in line for cash prizes this weekend. We're going to talk round 25. Any crazy pod moves for you this week?
Mate, my pod move is getting 17 players on the field.
Yes.
And I've managed it, but it's a pretty skinny last two.
So there's no real options for pod opportunities there?
Not within the Belalee Beasts, no.
Right.
And you?
Well, I've got 20 players, so I feel like I should have spent my trades earlier because I was hoping some sort of massive crisis would happen this week. And look, it kind of has with the Panthers, but I'd sold all my Panthers by now anyway, so it hasn't really affected me.
You're cocky about it now, but you weren't so cocky last week when VK's Panthers cost you. Yeah.
It cost me a grand final. It was a 10k charity league, I think that one was. So
you know you didn't get the money anyway.
It would have been donated, but still.
What was your charity?
I hadn't chosen one yet.
Wow. Something close to your heart then.
Something, yeah.
Sorry.
Let's go, questions.
Yeah. Oh, we've got questions?
Send them through.
Can't be worse than our gibber.
We've got one question sitting here. We're limping to the end. Oh, JP Parker says, I'm going to miss you guys. That's quite nice, isn't it?
Thanks, Mum. I reckon there's just two people watching at the moment. There's my mum and your mum.
Well, currently there's 16 people watching on Facebook at the moment. So send through your questions, guys. Good chance you will get them answered. We're going to run through the most purchased players. Harry Grant's come from a mid-table on this list up to being the most purchased player. Makes sense with Damien Cook definitely out with COVID. There was some talk that he might, Albo might have sorted something out for him, given that he's a Rabbitohs player. Yeah. That hasn't happened. Cook's definitely out this week.
I don't know the stats. Do you remember at the beginning of the season I said that Harry Grant would end up with a better average and Cook would end up scoring more points? I don't know. Where are they sitting? Do you know? This has absolutely nothing to do with this, but I just thought I'd throw it out there.
I looked at it the other day.
Yeah.
Looked at it yesterday. I think Harry Grant averages 1 point more per game. But obviously, he's missed heaps of games.
So Cook's got more.
So Cook's got more points.
But Harry Grant, obviously, is the best get with Arpi Coruscant, and the other one's Reece Robson, who's at the bottom of the list. I'm going to hurry this through, Thomas. I just want this season to be over. So, they're the best hookers.
I'm slowing it down.
Yeah.
I had to bring in Reece Robson last week, actually, with Cook getting ruled out at the last minute. He's the second best hooker taking the field this week. So I think he's the fourth best hooker all over for the year. But Harry Grant and then him in that position. So, look, I mean, if you need to fill someone up at hooker, he's not the worst option. But I'd be looking at another position other than hooker. I'd be going for a guy with upside at centre wing or fullback or in the halves.
What do I know? I said David Fafita was the best upside guy last week. I said Bo Firma can't keep scoring tries. I give up. At this point, I'm quitting. I'm retiring.
Retiring.
Yeah,
that's big
it.
news.
That's big news in the podcast.
Breaking news.
Rob Sutherland's quietly quitting.
Well, we might get a few job applications come through on the questions
Anyone
today.
can do a better job than me, you know.
Mulatalo, he's second most purchased. A little bit worried about this because I don't know if any Sharks players will get rested. And the Sharks won't know, to be honest, until the game before them, which is that Cowboys game. They could have second spot locked up, so they might decide to rest players before the game or within the game. In any case, they still have to name an 18.
If you're going to rest someone, you're not going to rest a winger, though, are you? I mean, not unless you're the Broncos.
Fatty Vorton wouldn't be resting a winger,
all he's got to do is comb his hair and fall over the line, which is a really old-school way of looking at wingers, because currently wingers make like 180 metres a game. But, leaving that aside, I think Mulatalo would probably be safe. But, yeah, you're right. They might take their foot off the gas, as it were.
Speaking of centre wing pods, Jordan Rapana, look, really good on the weekend. I'm a little bit worried about the Raiders. They play that last game of the round, so they could be resting players. But as you said, wingers, probably don't get rested.
Probably not. And the upside is you can get Rapana now because you don't have the issue with worrying that he's going to be suspended, which is always the Jordan Rapana threat.
Fair enough. Val Holmes, I originally had this down as a tough matchup up against the Panthers, but obviously the Panthers have rested 13 players. It's at home, so Val Holmes should theoretically have a pretty good game, and he's a bit of a left field guy for VCs and Cs as well.
He does play on the left, and he's playing the second best New South Wales Cup team, so you'd have to think he's going to score some points. At home, I've probably got him as a captain.
Hudson Young, interesting one at the Raiders, scoring lots of attacking stats.
I did some research for this one, Thomas.
Yes,
I have two bits of research done. Thank you. You
Yeah.
saw that I'd written something next to
I
this.
actually had some notes on the piece of paper.
4 tries in 3 games, averaging 79 against the Tigers, which is from 1 game. So he's not going to keep scoring tries. He's a Bo Firma, can't possibly score again, so he'll probably get a double.
And we don't have a show next week, so you can just get away with whatever you say.
I get away with it anyway.
Yeah, exactly, you do. Joe Tapine, do you reckon is he a chance to get rested? I know he missed that game a few weeks ago, so theoretically he's had a bit of a rest already, but must still be carrying a bit of a rib injury. So would he be a resting risk this week?
Not a chance. Ricky would not risk it from Mrs. Tapine. Imagine the thumping he would get on Instagram once again. No, he's quite safe. He'll be playing the full 80 minutes, I believe.
The full 80 minutes? Well, I don't think he's played 80 for the entire year. Wow, the advice coming out today is not great. Let's take some questions to just to slow Rob down a little bit. Is Cook playing this week? No.
No.
What have we got here? 2 trades left.
2 trades
Cook
left.
to Robson and May to Holmes.
Yeah, I like those.
Both really good trades.
Yeah, I mean, they're not pods, but, you know.
Is it true you get a wicked ring keyring for top 1,000? That was true last year. I believe there are keyrings this year, but I'm not 100% sure. They won't be wicked wing ones, though. Definitely not wicked wings. But don't hold me to any of that. I actually have no idea what's happening. Last round, Sangster, the QR code reveal.
I'm not going to give out the QR code,
was going absolutely
but I will give out your number. So if anyone would like a QR code in future, you can text
basically
Thomas
see your credit card numbers while you're holding up your wallet there.
Well, that's all right. That's my wife's anyway.
04 blah blah blah
555.
Both hookers out in Appy and Cook. Please give me some good news and that Cook's playing. He's definitely not playing.
named.
He's not even named, so he can't,
not
there's no
playing at all.
chance.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to take an AE there. The plus side is that you can have 2 cracks at the captaincy. It's a free
loophole
at the VC loophole.
Yeah.
Moving on to Cam Mckinnis. Interesting to see that he is the 8th most purchased player. Personally, I'd be going Robson ahead because Finucane is back this week.
Well, he's in the reserves, wasn't he? Has he been elevated up into onto the bench? Or was he on the bench?
Better double check this.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
See, again, look at the preparation.
If Finucane is playing this week, that does tend to affect Mckinnis a lot. So I'd be avoiding and going for an attacking guy like Reece Robson, who could get some decent try assist stats, maybe even a try against the New South Wales Cup Panthers.
I reckon Connor Watson's probably good for a double against the lowly Rabbitohs. Yeah.
The lowly Rabbitohs. What are your thoughts on Tino? Pretty good matchup against the Warriors, but it is a home game for the Warriors. Vodafone have bought thousands of tickets, so it's going to be a packed house. I feel like the Warriors will be fired up for this one, so maybe it's not as good a matchup as it seems on paper.
And it's not a daytime match, is it?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, 5:30 is almost daytime, isn't it?
Well, no, 5 o'clock. But
where's the cutoff?
Daytime in New Zealand, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Look, Tino's a great get, I think. 3-round average of 82 and 5-round 84. It could be the other way around. My research is pretty dodgy. He got 60-odd in base last week. Adding to that power and attacking stats, you know, he's right up there with Tapine and Cam Murray as sort of the premium second rowers at the back end of the season.
I'm not sure if Johnny Cross is talking BS here, but he's got 3 trades left, so he must have a boost up his sleeve. Who should I buy for Yo, Tuo, and Tago, or Tango? Well, it depends who you don't have. I think in the back line, the best guys... Well, Val Holmes is pretty high on the list for me. Yeah, I mean, it depends who gets arrested for the Roosters, because if you don't have Joey Manu, I'd be getting him in. I think he's due. Yeah, what do you reckon?
I think Joey Manu, I think he's going to go really well against the Rabbitohs. I've just got this feeling. I think, Latrell Mitchell will probably come for him. Joey will duck him and he'll score a try this time instead of Latrell taking his head off. Although, as a Rabbitohs fan, it would be quite funny if Latrell tried to take Joey's head off again and again missed the finals. So what would that 3 years without playing a final for the Rabbitohs? That would be tremendous. Although, I do like Latrell. I've got no animus against him, even though he left the Roosters. I think every player's got the right to go and earn some money. Back to the question, what was it? Isaiah Yeo, I reckon you want Tito.
It depends who you don't have, but yeah, Tino's probably the guy
Tino's
for
an
this
interesting
week.
pod. I think Val Holmes is a really good captain choice, so I can't knock him. Who's the other one? Joey Manu. Yeah.
Rapana, Manu.
I'm not into
one of those
Rapana.
guys.
He's a lunatic.
What about Greg Marzu as a pod? He's playing on the wing for the Titans. He's got the SuperCoach friendly game, that decent matchup against the Warriors. I think it will be an attacking game.
He's the strongest player at the Titans. You may not have heard that, or possibly you have every time they play. But that's because David Fafita couldn't be bothered lifting anything on the day. I reckon Fafita probably is the strongest player there.
In any case, what do you reckon about Marzu? I reckon he's a decent little pod.
Yeah, I just think he's going to make 16 errors and drop, and miss about 8 tackles. So he's going to lose you points in that regard.
It's very hard to get a serious answer today, that's for sure. Rod Moroney saying, Sangster, what are the dates for next year's SuperCoach kicking off? Well, it's usually around Australia Day, so sometime around then. Hopefully before Australia Day, but it depends.
We normally have something late December.
Yeah, so in mid-December, we have the prices come through for next year.
But
so
you won't be here, will you?
I won't be here.
Yeah. No, so you're away, so I get to do the positions.
The last time this happened, you put Isaiah Yeo as centre wing.
Yeah, how'd that work out for everyone? Bloody well.
Well, everyone loved it.
Everyone enjoyed that. Yeah.
Oh, dear. I'm going to have to call
What could go wrong,
I'm going to have to
Thomas?
call in
What
for
could
that
go wrong?
meeting from paternity leave.
Yeah, you can call in. I'll have you on mute.
Haas, Lolo or Clem a play this week? I think I feel like Haas will play big minutes because it's a must-win game for them against the Dragons. They have to win to get into the 8. So I'd lean that way. Lolo hasn't been going well as of late. I thought they would have been saving him for these big games at the end of the year. Doesn't look like that's the case.
Although Hess is out this week, so that might mean more minutes for Lolo. Look, I reckon I'm going Clemmer because it's just
Clemmer's
exciting. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
He could start a fight. He might not start a fight. He could still get sent off for dissent in the last, 30 seconds? Actually, almost the whistle had gone and Clemmer got sent off. And David Campbell had Clemmer and I didn't. I still remember this. And it was glorious to come into work the next day. Glorious.
Amazing. I'm thinking Haas for that, but he's definitely not.
Clemmer's way more exciting.
Not a pod. Moving on to the most sold players, Isaac Tungo not playing, makes sense. Damien Cook not playing, makes sense.
Could we just...
Apisai Coruscant not playing, makes sense. Villiabo Kikau not playing, makes sense. Isaiah Yeo not playing, makes sense. It's basically
Good segment, this one.
Basically the whole Panthers team until you get to Ruben Garrick, who's been out for 2 weeks, so people are just getting around to selling now.
Makes sense.
Ezra Mam has been dropped this week. I was going to play him this week against the Dragons, but he's been dropped.
Yeah, thanks, Kevy. Thanks a lot, mate. Yeah.
And then
gave us nothing, Kevy. That was terrible of him. He should have thought of the super coaches.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He should have. Adam
It's not
Reynolds.
Ezra's fault that Naz just kept running over him. Where was his second rower? Hey, where's his support? Can't just leave a half just there in front of like a bloke who's 2 metres 20 tall. I mean, when my son was giving Naz the loser dance at the airport, did you see me supporting him? God, no. I ran away the other way. I understand why the Broncos forwards didn't want to get in his way, but they're paid for it. I'm not paid to be a dad.
We've just got to keep going here. Adam Reynolds is in doubt with concussion.
Glad one of us is a professional.
That was a good rant, though. We should clip that up and get it up. We'll get it up as a separate later on.
My kid's already stuffed it up. I don't think we need that.
There are no real questions coming through. There's a lot of love, actually, saying that it's been a great season from us too.
Not on the scoreboard, not where it matters.
Yeah,
we've been good everywhere else.
Hopefully it's been entertaining this year, and there's a lot of people sending through their love. We've got a special edition of the Countdown Show tomorrow night as well, 7 p.m. KFC everywhere, balloons, party atmosphere.
I still can't get an invite to
special, that one. Mate. You can come. We've got a seat free.
Nah, it's fine. I know my place.
I know my place. You've never volunteered ever.
I don't volunteer for anything.
Show ever in your life.
I'll volunteer this. I have an apology to make to my friend Nathan, who I bagged on yesterday's show. He said I owed him congratulations because he's improved, which he has. It's my coaching has lifted him. But, I shouldn't have been quite so harsh. Nathan, I'm sorry.
Fair enough. Adrian Gretsch saying, thanks so much for the year, Tom and Rob. Entertaining and informative as always. It's very nice. Rod Moroney saying, appreciate your efforts, guys, this year. And Mike Myers says, it has been very entertaining. Not the Mike Myers, I assume.
I can't believe my mum's got that many aliases on Facebook.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for all the love, guys. That's it for the final countdown show of the year. As Rob says, we'll have big announcements on the prices in mid-December. Of course, SuperCoach BBL is coming up as well.
Oh, don't worry. The positions are going to be exciting this year.
Rob's going to go rogue on the positions. Yeah. Thanks for being with us. And watch the countdown show tomorrow night. Special party edition. Big thanks to Rob. We'll see you when we see you.
Cheers.